detectives, and more. 6 p.m. Saturday night on AM 950.
Hi, this is Frank Brown, owner of Minuteman Press Uptown, Minnesota's only minority-owned union printing company. And I have big news. We've moved. Our new building in North Minneapolis is much larger with state-of-the-art equipment. That means we can get your projects done faster. We're on Washington Avenue North off I-94 at the Dowling exit, which allows for quick pickup and drop-off with plenty of free parking. And yes, we still print everything. I moved to MP Uptown because as a Black business owner, I want to be in North Minneapolis and help provide jobs. At MP Uptown, we pay above living wages, hire people who have made mistakes in the past, and believe in social justice. We have over 175 Google reviews with a 5-star rating. Let us handle your next print project because when you support our business, you support the community. Call 612-870-0777 or visit mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com. We print everything.
Hi, this is Ken Hageland, host of Living Healthy and Aging Well, inviting you to listen to our live call-in talk show airing every Saturday from noon to 1, where we talk about your health and your life and provide insights you need to know to live and age well. Each week, we talk with guests who provide answers to important questions regarding healthcare, elder care, end-of-life care, and self-care for caregivers, and help you and your loved ones plan for the future and enjoy your highest quality of life today. Please join us every Saturday from noon to 1 on AM 950 for Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Cloudy overnight with a low of 33, then cloudy on Tuesday with a high of 38. The music is still the hottest at Crooners Supper Club in Fridley. Crooners is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. View their upcoming music schedules and food menus at croonersloungemn.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakan. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Chujank, little Haley, the cute little Haley over there, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
You are right, Daga. This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, I just have a quick question for you. Did you have a good weekend this past weekend?
Oh, I definitely did. Enjoying the warmer temperatures today. We had some sunshine, so I don't know. I had to hit those ski slopes before the snow melted. What about you?
Yeah, I had a good weekend, round dancing and all that, and seeing a bunch of relatives. There was a memorial out at Shakopee, and just all those good things that keep you close to your community. The racist name of the Chiefs won this weekend, and I'm gonna have to be hearing this tomahawk chop during the Super Bowl now when I'm watching it. But thank God the networks don't show it like they used to. You can hear in the background, and just kind of, oh my God.
Wow. It's the Chiefs and the 49ers, right?
Right. And the 49ers are a racist name too. But I won't get into that. Chiefs is pretty straightforward. Hey, what would you do if we didn't have any guests? Like
Oh.
tonight, let's say if we didn't have a guest, which we have Maggie Lorenz of Wakan Tipi coming on, and also Dr. Stately, our uh, regular guest. What would you do there, Haley?
I think we would be pulling up some Ho-Chunk language and looking at some different language. We could compare languages with the Anishinaabe, the Ojibwe, the Dakota people, and our Ho-Chunk language. I don't know.
I remember one time we did that, and or that happened, and our guests didn't show up, and we started sending out the phone number to our regulars, and they jumped on. And I don't know, were you with us then? But that was
No.
it was a lot of fun. We just had, oh, come on and save us. Robert's saying too much. We need a guest.
Well, I know that Maggie and the people at Wakan Tipi, Awanyankapi, have a lot going on. There was something
Yeah.
that happened over the weekend with
The Winter
people
Carnival.
searching, for that little clue thing in places where they shouldn't be.
Right. Well, and Maggie's going to have an update on that, and I really want to talk to Maggie about her organization and get into that. It's an interesting world we live in. It's we live in two or three worlds here. Or even more. People understanding what sacred is to some people. It's like when I was a little kid. You could walk on the Indian Mounds in Mounds Park. There was no fence around it. And people did play and walk on it. And that would be, like walking on somebody's grave,
Yeah. Or going through a church and looking for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so those things have changed in a good way, but that's because we've had leaders and elders step forward and say enough's enough. And so Wakan TP is going to be a interesting story because it does have a happy ending. But geez, what I was reading last night, is you get clues from the St. Paul paper in the Winter Carnival, which we don't have and are not having right now. And it really kind of concerns me too when it comes to global warming and what we have going on here as what we call weather. It might be good for t-shirt skiing, but it's not good for the economy. And I was down by the Mississippi River, and there's no water going over the dam. I mean, there's things that I kind of look at this next summer, because we'll be in the second year of a drought, as a probable time that we should probably be conserving water. And the weirdness of that water being put on the stock market 3 or 4 years ago. And so it's going to be the commodity that people have been talking about for years, is that will be wars across this country fighting for fresh water, because there's not much fresh water out there, Haley.
I know, seriously. And water is life. And, we need water for so many things. And I got to share a little story. So I go up to the North Shore quite a bit. And I went to UMD my freshman year of college. So this was back in 2016. So 2016, I took a photo above Palisade Head off of the North Shore there over Lake Superior. And I went back a couple years later, took the same picture in the same spot, and the water was lower visibly. Rocks were showing that weren't visible in the previous picture from years before. And then this past spring, I went to the same spot and the water was even lower. So
yeah,
it is scary, because that's, where we get most of our fresh water everywhere around the world.
Exactly. And you have companies that even secretly come to this state and suck out water out of Lake Superior, out of the river. And, there's companies out there, corporations that are doing that because, well, we buy bottled water in plastic jugs. And,
Right.
Sometimes we have to do that. Like in St. Paul, we found out just recently. And I've kind of known this all my life, is that there's lead in the water, and you know what that does to you. And so I have an excuse, but
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to be drinking that. You don't want to be giving it to your animals, which are your relatives, your pets, your family.
I know. And those PCPs too, and those plastics in the water and the runoff and the way they get into our agriculture and our water supply is not good. I'm East Metro, so east of St. Paul, and we all know that the big 3M company is out here, and they've, leaked chemicals into our water here, especially in Lake Elmo before. So it's a continuous fight.
Yeah, they got a slap on their hand. I guess we won't have 3M, Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing, advertising on our show, but that's kind of the difference between, hopefully, us progressive speakers and this station and the other stations we're on. Big difference between corporate radio or corporate media than what we're doing here and trying to do. And we're just speaking our truth. And what's great about this show is there's so many people like today that are going to be coming on and speaking their truth, and we just have to give them the platform. And that's what's been exciting about having this show for over 7 years now.
Right. And just bringing more attention to Native organizations that do protect our land here, especially in the Twin Cities, because if you're in the Twin Cities, there's not a lot of fresh land that is untouched and still has all the natural resources that are native to the land. And so I'm really excited to hear what Maggie has to say.
Yeah, definitely. It's fun. It'll be fun to talk to her. I talked to her this morning, and we saw the posts that she was putting up, and a lot of people reached out to her, and you'll hear the story. It does have a good ending. There's certain places in St. Paul, I should say, that you cannot hide the medallion, and it's a significant amount. I think it's $10,000. It used to be, and if you didn't buy a button, it's $5,000. So people are out there digging around on their hands and knees for a sacred coin on our sacred land, and hopefully leaving it in a decent way, which we'll find out with Maggie Lorenz, CEO, Executive Director of Wakan Tipi here in St. Paul. All right. Hey, so we got 30 seconds left. You got a joke, Haley?
No, I don't. But since we're on the topic of Wakan Tipi and the medallion, I heard on another station that I won't mention that they have been searching in the same spot the previous years. So maybe this isn't a first time.
Exactly. Hey, we'll be right back. Native Roots Radio.
Stay with us.
Unwanted sexting or photos, inappropriate jokes, even tickling or wrestling can feel like a violation. Catcalling, cornering, or groping, getting them drunk or high for sex, recording sexual acts without permission, hurting someone because of their sexual orientation, ripping a family member, a child, a date, a friend, a stranger, purchasing a human being for sex. You make the choice every single time. Sexual violence is many things. Make a choice. Do not do it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hi, I'm Mary T, inviting you to experience our integrative Mary T Health and Wellness Center, offering physical, occupational, speech, and lymphedema therapies. Experience our guided imagery, meditation, Tibetan medicine, dry needling, massage services, including cupping and oncology massage. Sign up for our free wellness screenings and learn more at marytwellness.com. All major health insurance providers are accepted. Come for therapy, experience wellness.
The new year and the new eagle have arrived at the National Eagle Center. When you visit this winter season, you can meet and learn about the newest bald eagle ambassador, Perseus. Plus, the center is your headquarters for winter eagle information and experiences, including weekly winter bald eagle counts, golden eagle information, unforgettable expert-led field trips, and small group private eagle habitat tours for your friends and family. Make eagles part of your 2024 and plan your visit or experience today online at nationaleaglecenter.org.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon, supporting Native news and events from Natives themselves. Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon.
Hey, we don't have Maggie on yet, but we have the great Dr. Stately on phone line here. Dr. Stately, can you hear me? Oh, I can't. Oh,
Hanging up.
oh. I guess he didn't pick up. Wow, that's crazy. So yeah, we're waiting for our guest here, and there we go. Is that
Ooh.
Dr. Stately?
Someone's on the line.
Is that Dr. Stately? Oh, Dr. Stately, can you hear me? Weird, I can't hear you. Hold on a second here. Let me set this up.
I wonder if Dr. Stately ended up taking his boys up to War Road for Hockey Day, Minnesota.
I don't know. Let's figure it out here. I'm not hearing him. Dr. Stately, can you? Well, you're not coming over the roadcaster right now. So hold on a second. Let me call you right back. Oh, that's weird.
I heard. Were you able to watch Hockey Day, Minnesota at all?
No.
I think it's going to be held in Hastings next year, which is a little bit further, or a little bit closer, than War Road. So maybe we can go check that one out.
Yeah, that would be. Well, answer me a question. Did they play the NHL? Did they just play down here, or where did they play?
That's a great question.
I thought they were going up north, but then I thought I saw something and that they were definitely down here. So
playing at the XL?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I'm not sure. I thought they usually played up there.
Is this Dr. Stately?
This is he.
Well,
the one and only.
I'm a bill collector, and I'm glad I got a hold of you. But you're live on the radio. Ho!
You're a bill collector.
Yeah.
Are you collecting dollar bills, $100 bills, $100 bills? What do you collect?
Yeah, Billy bills.
Billy bills.
Just like the old Billy beer from President Carter's. I just aged myself, right?
You did. Like nobody. Like 3/4 of the people who are listening don't even know who Carter was.
Right, and he's still alive. He's the oldest president that's still right.
Oh yeah, he is. It was his wife that passed away recently. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the first election I was able to vote on. The Reagan and Carter presidency, and
what year was that?
1980.
Oh yeah, you know what? I think I was able to vote in that too. That was the year I was my first time I was able to vote.
Well, we're still waiting for Maggie to come on, and she's probably, being the executive director that she is, probably was busy doing things here, because I talked to her this morning, and I think things all went well. And I guess one of the things, if you have a minute here, Dr. Stately, seeing that we don't have Maggie on right now, we could possibly just talk a little bit about what happened this weekend. And the Winter Carnival has a medallion. If you buy a button, you get $10,000, and they hide a medallion somewhere in some park or something across St. Paul. There's 4 places that they can't be hidden. One's the Capitol, one's the governor's mansion, and then there's a couple more. And the reason why, and especially with no snow, the place gets dug up. People leave trash, cans of beer and all this stuff. And that's what happened to Wakan Tipi. Basically, it ended up being the medallions there. And Haley was telling me earlier that people do look there every year.
Why would they even think that that's a good idea? Like, who allows that to happen?
Well, what I found out from Maggie this morning is that, and that's why I said a little earlier today that it's a good thing. Good things have happened from it. So the St. Paul paper has one person who hides it and gives the clue, and nobody else knows. So this isn't like the city doing it. It's the St. Paul Pioneer Press paper, and it's one person. So,
oh wow!
So because it's such a hidden clues and all this, so when it all shook out, and Wakan Tipi's right by the river, and it's been a re-preserved place. There's a cave there that's been there, a Berthold cave for 10,000 years. There's all these things, and he just didn't know.
Oh my God!
Right. So now it's put on that list that it'll never be there. And so happily ever after that something did happen
yeah. Well, what's interesting about that is that, this is a really good example of like why it's important to do things like, advocate so people understand Dakota history, they understand Dakota sacred spaces, that they begin, like, this is one of the reasons we have fought for decades now to get more information into the public sphere, into educational systems, into these, into legislation and those kinds of things. The reason why it's important to understand the history of Minnesota, right, the Dakota people's land, and these things. Like, if this knowledge was more readily available, the general public, including, in theory, somebody who worked for the St. Paul Pioneer Press, which is a news agency, and I mean their expertise is doing investigative research, right, and investigative journalism. You would think that they would know this information, or they would make a more strategic effort and intention to make sure that they're not doing something like this nature, which is like nostalgic or novelistic, right? It's not
right.
It's not anything about history. I mean, what are people learning from this experience? Is there anything like specifically that's beneficial to society other than like being the one person that gets to say, like, I found the medallion? That's crazy stuff, and it's harmful to so many people and to an entire group of people and in a community.
Yeah. And it's
a
hard
way to learn that lesson, though, right?
Exactly. It's a cheap way to sell a lot more papers, because in the old days there was a clue in the morning paper, the Dispatch, and then the afternoon Pioneer Press, and that's kind of how it is.
And I was a journalist, so I have a lot of respect for printed journalism. I was one of the editors of the Circle newspaper when it was very in its infancy, right? I got my degree in that. I was working towards my degree in that at McAllister. So I have a lot of respect for printed journalism, but I also think that, this is it's also a business, right? Newspapers are business.
Yeah.
They're in the business of trying to sell their paper. They're trying to build their readership and the people who subscribe to it so that they can make more money, so that they can do what they need to do, which is, they're probably trying to survive in a time when, nobody's reading newspapers anymore. Does anybody buy newspapers or magazines anymore? They read everything online.
Right.
So I get why they do that kind of stuff, but it's still harmful and damaging to a group of people who have been so damaged and hurt by the state of Minnesota and all of its, colonial systems for generations, decades, right?
Well,
they could have thought that differently.
And I think all what's come out of this by talking to Maggie this morning was that good things, of good discussion, and they're going to put a big article in the newspaper about it. And, 10, 15 years ago, they would have basically given us the finger. So I think people like you that are in the community, that are known, and that we're still here, has been going on for a few years, and all the stuff that is happening good here in Indian country have opened up these doors.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do believe, like, if this was 10, 15, 20 years ago, they would have gave us the finger and said, tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think 10, 15 years ago, there probably wouldn't have been as big of a response, maybe. I mean, I don't know. AIM would have been much more active back then, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I appreciate you stopping in here. I know you got family in town, and I really appreciate you coming by, Dr. Stately.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so, I didn't know this news until I talked to you earlier today, and now I'm listening to you talking about it. So, my sons are Dakota. I have a Dakota family, and so to hear that information, to hear that news, and to hear you speak of that, and NAC has a strong relationship with Wakan Tipi. We have a relationship with them where we take some of our young people, where we have this project where we're reconnecting indigenous young people in middle schools to the land and their spiritual and physical and cultural and ancestral relationship to that land, and we bring our young people to Wakan Tipi. It's just heartbreaking to me that I would do that to that state.
Yeah.
It's just devastating and heartbreaking. So.
Well, again, we appreciate you and appreciate you spending time and checking in on this. It's really, really important to hear from people like you in the community. So big Peeny Gigi, and give your give your mother a big hug for me.
I will.
Oh,
okay. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.
See you. Hey, Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back after this short break. Become a teacher and ignite change. Join the St. Paul Urban Residency Program to become a teacher in just 15 months. You can earn your master's degree and teaching license from the University of St. Thomas while earning a $30,000 stipend, single health care, and dental benefits. As an added bonus, next year's cohort, all residents will receive $20,000 towards their tuition. Apply now. Applications due February 28, 2024. Visit spps.org/SUTR. Life can be hectic. Sometimes the pressure can feel like too much, and the emotions can be overwhelming. Hennepin County's COPE Mobile Crisis Response is here to listen and help you find a way through whatever is going on in your life. Call 612-596-1223 for no-cost crisis support anytime, anywhere in Hennepin County. That number is 612-596-1223.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Peace of mind shouldn't cost a fortune. We keep things simple at Schroman Law because we believe planning for your estate and end-of-life care shouldn't be stressful or expensive. Every client relationship starts with a free consultation so clients have the information they need before making important decisions. From there, we work closely with clients to ensure they are choosing the most efficient and cost-effective plans for their specific needs. Schedule a free consultation today at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Winter is here, and there's a good chance your home isn't being heated efficiently. And it's likely because of air sealing and insulation problems. Inadequate attic insulation is the leading contributor to high energy bills, cold rooms, and ice dams. Great news, the energy-efficient pros at Snap Construction can fix it all. Stop the heat from leaking out and save. Call 612-333-SNAP or visit snapconstruction.com for your free infrared energy inspection. Install with Snap Construction and qualify for over $750 in rebates and incentives. State and city programs are now offering 0% financing for qualifying insulation upgrades. So call Snap Construction for your free insulation energy consultation and start saving on your energy bills. Call 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP. Or visit snapconstruction.com. Snap Construction is arguably the most well-reviewed insulation and exterior contractor in the metro area.
Minnesotans are hardy. We don't let snow or ice get in our way. We have places to go, so making sure your vehicle is in prime shape for winter driving is so important. Take your vehicle to Rudy Luther Toyota for all your service needs. I was just there. I got my oil and filters replaced, and they did a complete safety check to make sure my vehicle can tackle what winter has up its sleeve. And they service all makes and models of vehicles. Head to RudyLutherToyota.com and use their super easy Toyota service scheduler to set up your service appointment today. Rudy Luther Toyota on the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Cloudy overnight with a low of 33, then cloudy on Tuesday with a high of 38. The music is still the hottest at Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. View their upcoming music schedules and food menus at croonersloungemn.com.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic, or NAC, in Minneapolis.
Yeah, it was really good to hear from Dr. Stately. I know he was busy tonight, but it really got him going. And again, his relationships with Wakan, Tipi, and what great work Maggie Lorenz is doing there. I feel like I should read her post, Haley. Do you think?
Yeah, let people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so this is her post from 19 hours ago. It's been a long day. What started out as a lazy Sunday turned out what felt like another battlefield or defend our sacred places here in the cities. I was upset, hurt, and frustrated but most of all, I was exhausted from screaming into what seems like an endless void. And once I worked with educated group A on what they shouldn't do, X, at a sacred site, then here comes group B. It seems hopeless today. I felt defeated. And then, just as I was about to put diplomacy down because I thought maybe that's not working anymore, something amazing happened. I got a phone call from the Parks and Recs director at the city who was already in touch with the Pioneer Press and the situation. He gave me options, solutions, and asked what we wanted to do and see happen next. He was already working on it, already advocating, already working to find a remedy. He passed my info along, and then I got a call from the editor of the Pioneer Press. Apologies and solutions were offered so that this never happens again. I got a call from the city councilwoman, from friends and neighbors. I heard about the emails that were sent to the city officials and event organizers. I read comments online, most of them incredibly supportive of protecting the sacred place. I even saw a former medallion finder post a call to action for the Pioneer Press organizations to keep this site on the off-limits list. The Pioneer Press is going to write about what happened and what they learned. Our friends at NPR and Native Roots Radio reached out as well as offered help us spread the word. Wakan Tipi is a sacred place and deserves to be honored and protected. Today was a good day for every single one of you who has put your heart, mind, and energy, even for a moment, in defending this place. Thank you. It's impossible to carry this kind of work alone today. Today, I was shown unequivocally that I absolutely don't have to. Defend, hashtag defend the sacred. So,
Maggie.
yeah, so what turned out really dark last night with this medallion being found down there, and Wakan Tipi, and it's in the lower bluffs off the Mississippi River. For people don't know, in the Twin Cities, or our friends in Wisconsin that listen to our show, and above these cliffs is not only the mounds. At one time, there's 3 mounds there, and there's a park called Mounds Park above it. And at one time, there was 100 mounds up there filled with ancestors for 10,000 years from all tribes across Turtle Island that buried their ancestors in these mounds,
Right.
which is a graveyard. And then below the mounds, in the middle of the cliff, is a birthing booth, a birthing cave, which was sacred for over 10,000 years, and there was ancient drawings in there that were stolen. There were water that ran in there, 50 degrees year round, so people came all over to birth their young ones there. And so this is a really, really sacred place. And I had the opportunity, Haley, to when I was teaching, is bring a couple dozen Native students down there, and we started planting sage and berries and things that originally grew there that hadn't grown there in a long time. Because what it was when Wakan Tipi took it over, it was a kind of a dumping ground for the railroad. So it was very polluted down there, and they put tons and tons. I think I heard something like 8 feet of new soil down there because it was so contaminated. So
Wow.
8 feet through that whole area is a lot of a lot of soil. But I'd asked Maggie a few years ago, and has those sage and everything grown? And she said, yeah, it's growing. And so I have to get down there and take a look. And we have to protect this. We have to we
Speak up for the land.
right. And it was funny what Dr. Stately said too, because that made me think too, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I would have probably been down in the Pioneer Press immediately and protesting, and like the
Seriously.
Inkster gangsters used to back in the day. And we need our groups out there and young ones to speak up and let their words go. But diplomacy did work, and this time, and all the work that Maggie's put in with the community and educating has worked. I think I'm going to call this a big mistake that'll never happen again. And I think that's what I was trying to say to Dr. Stately, is that it's different now, and it's better now, and it's getting better. But we still have to be resilient, and we still have to speak up, and we still have to educate.
Exactly. Yeah, and I am curious too if this was the same person that's been in charge of hiding it every year or for the past years. And yeah, I think that's a great point that Dr. Stately made too, is that as a journalist, you're trained to make educated, research. And I just can't believe that they didn't know about this site having, that significance. It's really, really hard to believe for me.
I would, the person that makes the clues for this medallion, and like we were saying, in the old days, it was 2 clues a day. They sold a lot of papers. The Winter Carnival was a big thing. It was really in my teens, it started to wane, and it was a big thing, big parade, big happenings, and they sold a lot of papers with that. I'm wondering, And it's secret who does the hiding and does the clues. There's only one person, what I found out, and I've heard this before, but and it's still that way, that one person, and I don't know if this person's 80, 100, or 40 years old now. It'd be interesting to know that, but I I don't think we'll ever know because it's a secret.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, and I was going through some comments too. I think it was just comments maybe on Shelly's post, but people are like, well, you don't see us hiding things in churches and graveyards and sending people to go digging through those sites either. So,
Yeah. Well, it has to be educated because one time I think it was called the Bruce Vento area and
yeah,
wildlife
it's had a
area.
lot of names. Yeah.
Yeah, and when Maggie became the CEO 5-6 years ago, they changed the name and then also the direction because, as Dr. Stately said, it's Lakota Dakota land, and that's their land. And there's going to be a learning center down there, and they've been fundraising for a long time. So there's things like that that need to be happening, but still you go down there for spring cleaning and there's people dumping trash down there, and there's no way to keep it clean. There's no camera down there to see who's down there doing things like that, and it can be disgusting. So it's an uphill battle too for Maggie's organization and the community to keep that area clean too, which it shouldn't be. But again, I feel like, now we are educating people out there. This article hopefully will educate the people that read the St. Paul Pioneer Press, and the things that are happening online. There's a lot of people speaking out. I just happened to see Maggie's post last night. It was a different one, and it was just like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something we need to talk about. We need to educate, and there's many places like this, as you know, Haley. We have burial grounds. We just had that opening with the book, to banish forever the history of the removal of the Ho-Chunk and how Mankato stole our people in the Mankato, and big shots and big mansions down there that are now in the historical society, or historically can't remove because they're historical landmarks. These same people that have landmarks and streets named after them stole our property and stole our land and stole our corn and tried to steal our dignity.
Mm-hmm. And our culture and way of life even. While we're on the topic of Mankato, actually, I want to make a correction. I said in the previous segment that Hockey Day Minnesota was going to be in Hastings next year. It will actually be in, so Shakopee, I guess, not on the same page as Mankato, but it will be in Shakopee. So that's cool. That's by Dr. Stately, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll be staying over at his house, barbecuing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I feel bummed out about that because we could have gone down for Hockey Day and done a protest at the same time.
Oh, I know. Down there in good old Mankato.
Yeah, definitely. Well, maybe another year they can have hockey day down in Mankato.
Maybe. We'll see.
Well, hey, I think I jinxed us in the beginning of the show when I said that we would have no guest on, but we did have Dr. Stately on for a quick minute, and I got to read Maggie's quote, and we'll probably put the phone call out there, 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. Give us a call if you want. Tell us how great Haley's doing. We'll be right back after the short break.
Stay with us.
Oh.
As we age, it's important to invest in our health and to help protect it. Like the flu, COVID-19 is always changing. That's why it's important to stay up to date on your vaccines. By getting the flu and COVID-19 vaccines, you can renew your body's defenses and lower the risk of getting sick. Get your health boost and protect yourself against the flu and COVID-19. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. That's vaccines.gov.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Hey, what's going on? I just talked to Maggie, and she was stuck in a meeting. So,
oh no, that's not fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, hey, my head is on Hockey Day, Minnesota still. And I think I just got all switched around on locations because Hockey Day, Minnesota, we were skiing, right? And we were like, oh, why don't they have the wild game on in the chalet? And we're like, oh, we're in Wisconsin. We were out at one of the ski resorts in Wisconsin, actually. So, but what is nice is living on the east side of the Twin Cities here is being so close to the Wisconsin-Minnesota border.
Yeah, you can say it's nice. That's one way to put it. Definitely.
Jealous?
Jealous. Oh no, not jealous.
No, we got the bad water over here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of Maggie right now. Maggie, are you there?
Hi, yeah.
Hey, welcome to Native Roots Radio, last segment of the show here. How you doing?
I'm good. It's been a busy day.
I bet, I had a chance. We only got about 7 minutes here left in the show. Thanks for stopping in. I had a chance. I read your post on Facebook from today, and we talked about Wakan Tipi and the location and the things. And it's just been an exhausting day. We had Dr. Stately on talking about it, and it's great to finally get in touch with you. How are you doing right now? It must be exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit of a whirlwind, which is, but it's been in a good way, I think, because, when we first found out that the Twin Cities treasure hunt medallion was found at Bruce Bento or at Wakan Tipi, it was really frustrating. And I feel like I told this story like 3 to 4, 5 times today. Mm-hmm. But it was a little bit frustrating because, we've been doing a lot of work over many years trying to advocate for the site. We as in my organization, but we as in Dakota people, it's been, decades upon decades of advocating for the site, trying to regain access, regain connection for our community to the sacred place. It's fallen on deaf ears for the most part, from all different levels of, landowners and land managing agencies. And only in the past few years, we've really made some good progress. And I think it's just, kind of the right time in our society for people to actually care about Indian people, which is it's really sad that it's taken so long.
Right.
But it's good that it's happening, I guess. So,
well, Dr. Stately and I were talking about it, and I said, like, if this was 10, 15 years ago, they might have just said, whatever, tough luck. And then we'd have to get the Aimster gangsters over there to protest this,
Absolutely. And, that's essentially what did happen. And, it was in the 70s, I think, AIM and the Red Schoolhouse and other, Native community members and tribal members came to kind of call on the city to close the entrance to the Wakan Tipi cave, because at that time it was open and people were going in there and vandalizing what was remaining of any of the ancient petroglyphs and rock art in the cave. So, AIM did have a hand in getting the cave closed to the public back in the 70s. But yeah, I'm glad that we don't have to do that kind of level of protesting, at least right now, to get some of our work done and start moving things in a good way at the site.
Maggie, how long have you been executive director again?
Just about 5 years.
Wow.
So yeah, I started in March of 2019. So it's been a while.
Yeah, I was talking to Haley and our listening audience out there that I had students come down there and plant berries and sage and things. And it's just a beautiful vibe down there. And we still have to talk about it, because there's people that still go down there and are disrespectful.
Absolutely. And I think, some of the major things that I took away from this whole incident was, one, that, times are changing significantly. I mean, because not only when this kind of incident happened, I didn't have to get on the phone and try to start, calling around to people to make my case heard. I was getting the phone calls and people were saying, "Oh no, this happened. How can we help make this better?" And so the fact that I didn't have to be the one pushing, and people were responding to it, and they already knew it was an issue from the city, from the Pioneer Press, that was amazing. So there's a lot of just better, I guess, intentions, and people willing to change the way things have been always done. And this colonial kind of society we live in now. So that's was really encouraging. But then, also it was like, until we get to a point where we can prioritize with the city renaming this site and redesignating it, because right now it's designated as a public park, and people are going to treat it like a public park until it's not designated as a public park. I mean, people go down there for all kinds of recreation, including a treasure hunt, but all kinds of other recreation activities. It's just not mine with how you would expect people to engage at a sacred place.
Right. Wow. And so to be continued. And I think what you were saying earlier too, I really agree, is that there's allies out there listening now. There's more progressive people in the community that understand this is Lakota Dakota land, and and that there was people here way before the colonization of this state, before it was a state.
Absolutely.
Well, I know you got to get going here. You had a really busy day. I want to give you the opportunity to say a few more things about Wakan Tipi, if you don't mind, and we'll let you go, because I'm sure it's been an exhausting 24 hours for you.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of great things are happening at the site. So our programs team year-round is doing events at the site to help with the stewardship and maintaining, a healthy ecosystem there. Sorry, I just had a bunch of people come over. We're having people over for dinner. So, we just had an event. It's called Seeds and Snowshoes. This year we didn't have a lot of snow for that, but you bring community out and they help feed the site over winter because there's seeds that need that kind of freeze thaw cycle to break their dormancy. So we did that, and we have other events like that coming up. So, if people are interested, we have a lot of volunteer opportunities and a lot of different community programs that help educate people on not only the sacred site and the cultural history, but also teachings around traditional ecological knowledge and our plant relatives. So wakantipi.org, and just would love for anybody who cares about this to join our community and sign up for our newsletter and stay in touch.
Right on. Hey, thank you so much for taking our call. I know you've had a busy 24 hours, and I'll be over for some of that corn soup here in about 20 minutes.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Maggie. Have a great day.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on.
All right. Okay. Talk to you later.
Well, that was Maggie Lorenz of Wakan Tipi, and glad to have her on and speak her truth. What a great organization, and what a lot of work a lot of people put in the Twin Cities to get these people going. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance from Chief Plentycoops, the ground on which we stand on. It's sacred ground, and it's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office. We're still here. We are the seventh generation.
And free Leonard Peltier. Now.
With 2024 here, reserve space for your gathering, either for family, friends,